Welcome to the Fifth Kind. Visit our official website at fifthkind.tv to sign up for our latest newsletters, stories, and exclusive content available only on alternative platforms. I've been preaching for over 30 years, teaching the book of Genesis in churches worldwide and training pastors in the art of interpreting texts. The story of Enoch is a fascinating one. He walked with the Elohim, the powerful ones, and then was taken away by them. The book of Enoch provides a detailed account of what it meant for Enoch to walk with these powerful beings. It also tells the story of 200 watchers who came to earth, mixed with human women, and produced giants, a narrative echoed in Genesis 6 and in various cultures around the world. In 1984, a 26-year-old woman suddenly reappeared on the beach in Anloga, a coastal town in the Volta region of Ghana. She had been missing for 3 years, and her family's joy quickly turned to confusion as they tried to understand where she had been. The woman revealed that she had been kidnapped while walking on the beach and taken to a distant community, where she was held captive and forced to bear children. The most shocking part of her story was that her captors were not human. They were the Mamiwata people who had taken her to an underwater base. The Mamiwata tradition is found along the western coast of Africa and into the Caribbean, with variations in different regions. These beings are often described as beautiful, usually female, and are said to abduct people near the water's edge. While the stories might initially sound like cautionary tales similar to Western mermaid myths or Greek siren legends, the Mamiwata narratives are much older, going back thousands of years. What intrigues me most is the consistent theme of abduction in these stories, a theme that has persisted across millennia. The story shared by this young woman was no convenient tale. My family is connected to hers, and I can tell you firsthand that her story wasn't meant to gain sympathy or acceptance. In fact, someone revealing such an experience is more likely to face skepticism or even be deemed unstable. That's why it's crucial we approach her account with respect and serious consideration. The breadth and age of this narrative suggest it's part of a larger ancient story, one explored in the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch has roots in Hebrew tradition, with scholars dating its various sections to the 2nd and 3rd centuries BCE, though it likely draws on even older oral traditions. Named after Enoch, who appears in Genesis as the great-grandfather of Noah, this book presents Enoch as possibly the first abductee, though likely a willing one. Genesis mentions Enoch simply walking with God before being taken away, but my book, Escaping from Eden, argues that this is a mistranslation. The original text refers to the Elohim, a term that actually means powerful ones, suggesting that Enoch walked with these beings before they took him away. The Book of Enoch is made up of several works. In the Book of Watchers, Enoch describes human women being taken and impregnated by beings from the heavens, followed by his own cosmic journeys, uncovering hidden truths about other dimensions. The Book of Parables continues this theme, discussing divine judgment and the promise of a Messiah. The Book of Heavenly Luminaries features Enoch being shown the galaxy by an entity named Uriel, who teaches him about astronomy and the cosmos, based on a worldview that sees the Earth as flat with a dome overhead. This theme of being shown cosmic knowledge by advanced beings isn't unique to Enoch. The prophet Ezekiel also describes a physical encounter with a flying craft and a human-like pilot who takes him on a tour of ancient cities, ending in Tel Aviv. While traditionally seen as a vision, could Ezekiel's experience actually be a description of a real encounter with extraterrestrial technology? The Book of Enoch and the Book of Ezekiel are both considered examples of apocalyptic literature. This genre typically involves writers describing extraordinary, often bewildering experiences that they don't fully understand. They report these encounters because they recognize their significance and want readers to help unravel their meaning. For instance, Ezekiel recounts being picked up by a mysterious flying craft. He details where he was taken, the places he saw, and how disoriented he felt afterward, to the point where he couldn't speak for a week. What's fascinating is that while Ezekiel is being transported, the pilot, described as a figure like a son of man, tries to discuss religious and political matters with him. However, Ezekiel is completely captivated by the craft itself. He marvels at its shiny metal, strange wheels, and roaring sounds, struggling to find words to describe what he sees. He calls it YHWH's habitation, or the glory, because he lacks the language to describe this extraordinary experience. To us today, Ezekiel's description seems eerily similar to modern reports of UFOs and advanced technology. When we dismiss these accounts as mere visions, we might be ignoring evidence of something real that challenges our current understanding of the universe. Support for Ezekiel's claims can be found in other ancient texts. The Hindu Bhagavad Gita describes similar flying craft, and ancient art from Egypt and Mesoamerica depicts spacefaring vehicles. The Book of Enoch goes even further, describing cosmic journeys far beyond Ezekiel's earthbound travels, guided by a non-human entity named Uriel. This mirrors descriptions in the Bhagavad Gita and even the Hebrew scriptures of fiery chariots. These ancient narratives may have influenced later stories, such as Joseph Smith's account in the Book of Mormon, where he describes being taken by extraterrestrials and given a golden book. Modern accounts of abductions and encounters with flying craft also echo these themes. French researcher Eric von Daniken even calls the Book of Enoch an ancient alien classic. When we encounter similar stories across different cultures and eras, we face a choice. Either these diverse groups independently created identical fictional tales, or they were all experiencing the same phenomenon. To me, the latter seems far more plausible. What does it mean to be missing? In the US alone, over 500,000 people disappear each year. In 2018, there were 12,146 new reports of missing individuals, some due to accidents, others potentially linked to slavery and trafficking, and many from violent crimes. Fortunately, most of these people are eventually found, but around 15%, or roughly 90,000 each year, remain unaccounted for. Alarmingly, thousands go missing from national parks every year, so much so that park authorities are instructed not to keep track of these cases. This isn't about people getting lost. It's about people vanishing right in the middle of everyday activities, like a conversation or a game. We lack both mythology and science to fully explain this phenomenon, and these disturbing figures should push us to explore this issue more deeply. Like Monsignor Corrado Balducci and Professor John Mack, I believe these encounters deserve much more serious investigation than they've received. The Book of Enoch presents a fascinating element in this context, the extraterrestrial being Uriel, who teaches about the cosmos and humanity's place in the universe. This idea of advanced knowledge from the stars isn't unique to Enoch. It appears in various indigenous myths, often backed by surprising evidence. As I delve into abduction cases through my book Escaping from Eden, I'm contacted daily by individuals sharing their experiences of encounters, some of which involve abductions. Many have kept these experiences secret for decades due to fear of ridicule or disbelief. One person told me they hadn't shared their experience with anyone but their spouse for 50 years. This reaction to such experiences, whether due to shame or disbelief, needs to change. We should listen respectfully and recognize that these stories might reveal much more about our world than we currently understand. In the West, we often dismiss these experiences as modern psychiatric phenomena, but they are deeply rooted in ancient myths. It's unlikely that anyone would fabricate such stories for personal gain, as they often damage reputations rather than enhance them. Thus, I echo the sentiments of John Mack and Monsignor Corrado Balducci. We need to approach these accounts with respect and seriousness, understanding that they may reveal encounters with different kinds of entities that merit our attention and study. The Book of Enoch and the Mamiwata tradition offer us a broader, deeper context for understanding these ancient stories, connecting them across cultures and millennia. These narratives suggest a history of advanced knowledge that could be far more than mere fiction. They invite us to consider whether this wisdom was a product of prehistoric brilliance or if higher beings played a role in human development. Why does the theme of being mentored by superior beings appear so widely among indigenous cultures around the world? Could listening to those who claim extraterrestrial contact, like the woman from Logargana who says she spent 3 years among the Mamiwata, help us uncover answers? There's a compelling link between these ancient legends and modern experiences. For instance, I've encountered stories of individuals who, after contact with otherworldly beings, returned with remarkable cognitive abilities. One person I know came back with advanced calculus in his notebook, a drastic shift from his previous knowledge. These experiences are often kept quiet, as people fear becoming subjects of scrutiny or being labelled as cases of mental illness. Interestingly, this phenomenon mirrors what's known as acquired savant syndrome, where brain trauma or injury can unlock extraordinary abilities. In the Mamiwata tradition, one promise for the abducted is enhanced intelligence and consciousness, part of the package deal of such encounters. The Book of Enoch, while seemingly strange to Western audiences with its tales of non-human inhabitants on Earth, resonates with the Dogon tribe of Mali, who remember beings from Sirius, and the Cherokee people of North America, who recall visitors from the Pleiades. These shared themes across cultures suggest that our generation is not alone in reporting encounters with non-human entities. If we approach the testimonies of contactees and returnees with respect, we might gain new insights into humanity's place in the universe. Consider the Qumran caves by the Dead Sea, where an ancient religious community hid its scrolls. In 1947, a shepherd's rock throwing uncovered a remarkable collection of texts, including the Book of Enoch, revealing treasures of ancient knowledge that continue to intrigue and challenge our understanding. The earliest version of the Book of Enoch we have comes from Ethiopia, where it's the only place the Book of Enoch is included in the Bible's canon. The Ethiopian text is made up of several parts: the Book of Watchers, the Parables of Enoch, the Astronomical Book, or Book of Luminaries, the Book of Dreams, and the Epistle of Enoch. While many themes in the Book of Enoch align with Hebrew scriptures, it also introduces some unique concepts. The current scrolls date from the 3rd to the 1st century BCE, but their origins and authorship are still somewhat mysterious. Although the book is traditionally attributed to Enoch, its true authorship remains unclear, much like how the historical Moses or Isaiah may not have written all the books attributed to them. Enoch himself is a fascinating figure. He's an ancestor of Noah, being Noah's great-great-great-grandfather, and is also a descendant of Adam and Eve. If you do the math, Enoch would have had 62 other great-great-great-grandparents from the same generation as Adam and Eve, adding another layer of mystery to his story. The Qumran community, known for its secretive and monastic lifestyle, likely valued the Book of Enoch for its themes that resonated with their beliefs. Chapters 85 to 90 of the book contain prophetic texts that many interpret as predicting various tribes, empires, and significant figures like the Essenes, Jesus, and the 12 apostles. Early church fathers, including Tertullian, Justin Martyr, Origen, and Clement of Alexandria, quoted the Book of Enoch and considered it scripture. However, it fell out of favour for about 2,000 years before making a reappearance in the 18th century, a remarkable twist in its history. In Enoch's visions, the world is populated by giants and monsters, and there's a tale of non-human beings interbreeding with human women, leading to conflict and chaos. As a result, the teachings of God are forgotten, and God expresses regret over creating humanity. Enoch's story of the Nephilim, giants or fallen ones, reflects a recurring mythological theme: gods mingling with humans to create powerful hybrids that transform societies. This theme appears across cultures, from Africa and Scandinavia to China and New Zealand, highlighting a universal fascination with beings that are both human and not quite human. It's easy to write off ancient stories as mere flights of fancy or the attempts of pre-scientific cultures to make sense of genius. But the Book of Enoch offers some intriguing insights that make us question this view. For instance, Enoch talks about how his ancestors were forbidden from swearing oaths, suggesting that doing so severed their connection with a higher intelligence. In a world that places so much emphasis on the power of intention, this raises fascinating questions. Why do we swear oaths in our modern world, from courtrooms to pledges of allegiance? If Enoch's account holds any truth, this practice might have impacted our consciousness more than we realize. Moreover, the idea of Enoch being taken to a different realm for profound learning parallels the concept of shamanism found across various cultures. Shamans are seen as those who journey to other worlds, meet with different beings, and bring back valuable insights to their communities. The word shaman itself originates from the Evenki people of Siberia, one of the world's oldest indigenous groups, whose traditions stretch back thousands of years. Enoch's experiences can be viewed through this shamanic lens. His journey into otherworldly realms and encounters with advanced beings aren't just fanciful tales. They might reflect a deeper, more profound understanding of reality. Far from being mere fiction, these stories could reveal hidden truths about our own consciousness and the universe.